This how you kick a hamite out the passover.
You love a dog too. You love dogs. Right. Captain! Captain! I know that's what a real simple. Man, it's up! He don't love you, man. He don't even like you. He would be up there. Where's the job at, yo? She hates you. Right, yo. She hates you. Still out here videoing. Oh no.
We out, yo. Since you think I'm me, people, now look, I stole from you. I'm keeping it too.
It's your welfare check.
Can I eat him?
No.
Oh, how y'all doing today? What's going on? Can I kick it with y'all? Like, y'all just seem like the cool cops. Like, I just feel comfortable around y'all, like. Nah. Oh, shit, my fault. I read it wrong. There's furries at Bike Week.
Oh my God!
Wait.
I know you from YouTube.
Oh, really? That's awesome. How are you doing?
He's a YouTuber.
I am a YouTuber.
You have to take a picture with me.
Let's
My
YouTube it.
crazy.
Oh my God, let's do it. It is amazing to meet you. What is your name?
My name is Jessica.
Jessica, you are a sweetheart. Thank you so much for being
you having fun?
the pure late that you are. Yeah, I'm having a great time. You know, I just bought this. I feel like I'm slowly transforming into a
Did you
biker.
buy that here?
No, I
You
didn't.
better about it.
No, I
You gotta
didn't.
buy something.
Oh yeah, I want to. Let's do it. You got a bandana?
Not the kind you're gonna like.
Oh shit. Nah, this will do.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah. How much is it on this?
Put it on.
Wait, is this like Confederate or anything like that?
No, it's American flag. Turn around.
Okay. Oh yeah. Can I buy these? I promise I'm not gonna steal. I'm a good guy.
I'm too old to chase you.
Oh, so I steal it? I bet we out. What? Come on. We out. All right, so that's how you get a free hat. It's like, nah, I'm just playing. You waved by like I was gonna leave.
I thought you were leaving.
No, I'm not a thief. I'm a good guy. Look. Are you sure?
Yeah, wait, just.
All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo-Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and that is who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashim, which means in the name. Yahweh Shai, which means He is our salvation. And that is who the world also ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man, who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, which brings us to our discussion / topic this morning, okay? Because as you saw on the first clip, it was a group that goes by the name of ISUPK hosting what seemingly looks like the Passover, but in caption it says how to kick a hamite out, all right? And it shows them kicking out a dark-skinned person, all right? Which I then put 2 other clips following that to show to what I believe to be the same individual, all right? Showing you that it is more so of a publicity stunt than actually trying to kick a hamite out, all right? Because I believe that those other 2 clips following the first one is of the same guy, a YouTuber that goes around trying to get controversial topics to get more views up, as he did in the clip where the biker, and then he did in the other clip where he was at a biker store. So now he comes into what? Passover with the Hebrew Israelites, okay? And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it was all done for a publicity stunt, all right? When the Passover, followed by the Feast of Unleavened Bread, is supposed to be a solemn assembly, all right? So what are you doing, okay? It's supposed to be a time of seriousness, see? But this is what happened when you've been compromised, when you taking the bag, all right? When you try to justify and rationalize what you do to get more views so that you can call in a greater number of viewers to hear the word. But you're not really preaching the word. You're just doing these things for shenanigans, okay? Because if you was actually going by what the word would say, you would vet an individual before they come into your Passover. All right, it's supposed to be a solemn assembly. All right, it's not supposed to be open to just anyone. All right, it's only supposed to be open to believers. So this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 6 and verse 7. It reads, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. See? So if you let a Hamite in your Passover, then that's on you. You didn't do the process and your due diligently and vet him. But I'm under the strong influence that was all a publicity stunt. All right? Because as you saw, as I said earlier, that same guy that they was kicking out, and then they showed the house of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, when Jazz get thrown out, he was in those other 2 videos that I found. All right? And this is not beyond them to try to do something like this, okay? To get more views, to get more likes, to get more this and that, instead of just preaching the word, man. See? This is what happened when you've been compromised, okay? This is what happened when you go off the straight and narrow path, all right? You got to do things to get people to view in, to watch, to do this, to do that, all right? What happened to just being in the spirit, man? Okay? Which I don't even believe that dude is a Hamite, okay? It just looks more better for optics for people to click this, to get more views. See, that's what it boils down to with these groups like ISUPK, IUIC, you know, so on and so forth. They're not really here to preach the word and be instant in season and out of season. They're here for a good time. Probably selling plates of the Passover. You know, who knows how he got in, okay? But let's read this again. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6 and verse 7. It reads, if thou wouldest get a friend. See? You're not supposed to just let any old person into your Passover. It's supposed to be a solemn assembly with those that are like-minded. But this is what happened when you make merchandise of the truth, man. Okay? It says, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first. See? What do you know about this guy? Nothing, except for he probably has a large following. All right? And you saw an opportunity to exploit that and allow him to come into your Passover and make a skit so that you can get more traffic from his audience over to yours, so that you can make more money off of that. All right? It ain't about being in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai for majority of these camps. It's about how can I make money? How can I make a name for myself? How can I put myself above everyone else? Where if you came in truth, if you came in all truth and sincerity, this thing will be about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And we know Yahweh Shai, when he kept the Passover, it was him and the 12. He didn't allow anyone else to come in that wasn't a believer. See? But now in the days, they'll tell you Josiah had a huge Passover. We're not in the time of that, all right? We're in the time of seriousness, man. Our salvation is nearer than what we believe now. In the kingdom, yeah, we'll have a grand Passover and, you know, hundreds of sheep and all this and all that. But now we supposed to be in that mindset, that spirit of being prepared to leave out of Babylon the Great, America, man. And you goddamn sellouts, you know, y'all want to get y'all prize on this side. Well, you're going to get it, okay? You're going to get it. You're getting your consolation, the fame, the notoriety, all right? Because you don't use what the words say to move circumspectly, all right? It's just a game for you. See, you've become disenchanted, all right? You've become disenchanted. Galatians 3 and verse 1. It reads, O foolish Galatians, who are Israelites, who have bewitched you. See, a lot of you Israelite groups, your leaders have been bewitched, that ye should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Yahweh Hamashiach have been evidently set forth, crucified among you. See? They don't, the Passover the Passover isn't supposed to be this extravagant ballroom feast that you throw every year and you sell these astonishing prices to come get a Passover and a plate and this and that for $150, and you allow anyone and everyone to come in to celebrate it and kick it with you, even non-believers. And then you see a little opportunity to make a little extra on the side, so you say, what? We'll allow this YouTuber in to come in under the guise of being a Hamite, and then we'll kick him out like Fresh Prince Uncle Phil did to Jazz. See? It's supposed to be. This is why you ain't gonna make it, man, because you ain't in the right mindset. This is supposed to be a serious time, okay? So let's read it again in the book of Ecclesiasticus, and then we go to the next precept, and then we get ready to close out. This is Ecclesiasticus. What was it? This is Ecclesiasticus 6 and 7. It reads, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first. See, don't be just so eagerly to jump in and say, hey, man, you got to vet. You got to put them through a strenuous period where you see whether or not they really are sincere and truthful about this thing, man. It says, if thou wouldst get a friend, prove him first, man. See? And be not hasty to credit him. Okay? Be not hasty. All right? You can't make decisions based on, impulse. Let the time take that it takes to mature to prove whether or not he's someone that's really truth and sincerity. And ask the Lord to show you if or not that this person is really coming in sincerity or not. All right? Always pray to the Lord about it, and He gonna direct your paths. All right? Now let's go ahead and get this in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16 and verse 1. The subtitle, the Feast of Passover, of Weeks, and of Booths. It says, verse 1, observe the month Abib, and keep the Passover unto Yahweh thy power. For in the month of Abib, Yahweh thy power brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. See? And we brought in the Passover last week. Now we wrapping up the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which we supposed to keep as a solemn assembly. It says, thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto Yahweh thy power of the flock and the herd, in the place which Yahweh shall choose to place his name there. Verse 3, thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith. See, so you're not supposed to eat leavened bread. All right, you're supposed to take leavened bread out of your house, which is a euphemism for get all that pride, all them doctrines, whatever you got, take that out of your house, out of your temple, out of your body. All right, get your house in order. It says, thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. Leavened bread is something that makes cakes and bread rise. Agents like baking soda, like yeast, so on and so forth. You're supposed to get all that out of your house, and you're supposed to get all doctrines and things that's making you go off according to the scriptures. And according to the scriptures, you're supposed to remove those things from out of you. All right? So that you can serve the Lord more better. It says, thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. See, this is supposed to remind us, all right? because we didn't have time to get yeast. And no, when we came out of Egypt, it was haste. It was move. It was take whatever you got and go. We didn't have time to bake cakes and allow them to rise. It says, even the bread of affliction, for thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste. See? That thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coasts 7 days. Neither shall there anything of the flesh which thou sacrificest the first day at even remain all night until the morning. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates which Yahweh thy power giveth thee. But at the place which Yahweh thy power shall choose to place his name in, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. See? So you have a sacred place where you sacrifice the lamb, the Passover, and it's supposed to commemorate us leaving out of Egypt, and it's supposed to be a solemn assembly, as it's going to say. It says, verse 7, and thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which Yahweh thy power shall choose, and thou shalt turn in the morning and go into thy tents. Verse 8, 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to Yahweh thy power. Thou shalt do no work therein. See? So it's supposed to be a solemn assembly, all right? You're supposed to surround yourself with like-minded people, all right? If you're looking at this as a skit, as a way to get, more views and just whatever, all right? You're not in the right spirit. And as it says in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5, you have to what? Examine yourself. This is the time of Passover. To what? Examine yourself. The Feast of Unleavened Bread. To what? Examine yourself. Whether or not you be in the faith. Okay? Let's read that and then we'll close out. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. It reads, examine yourselves. This is the time, the beginning of the year, that we examine ourselves. Get rid of anything that we held on that wasn't in a line or in accordance with what the word says, moving into this new year, and get rid of it. Get the leaven out of your house and out of your temple, your body. It says, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. See? Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahweh Shai HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. See? What are you doing this for? Are you doing it for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's sake? Or are you doing it for your own filthy lucre's sake? All right? When we see skits and things like this, one can only imagine you're not doing it for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's sake. You're doing it for your own filthy lucre's sake, man. Okay? Do we need to see on blast how you kick a quote-unquote Hamite out? Because you carry them like Uncle Phil? We get it. It's supposed to be a skit, a joke, but it ain't funny, man. We in some serious times, okay? Where if you don't vet the people who you round with, it could cost you. It could cost you, all right? And that's why you're supposed to pray and ask the Lord to what? Direct your paths. Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6. Trust in Yahweh with all thy heart. Lean on him, and he will direct thy paths, okay? So, hey, just use your brain, man. Okay? Use your brain. Vet any individual that you claim that is a friend, because it could end up being someone that was planted there, and there's agents, amongst the groups, amongst the camps, whether it's women, whether it's a quote-unquote Hamite, Edomite, or whoever, man. All right? They're going to place agents amongst these camps, these groups, okay? So, hey, You got to prove a friend, man. Just don't be willy-nilly, and welcome everybody into your house either. Take time, man, to establish some type of brotherhood, okay? But hey, that's what the Lord is here for, to bring forth that brotherhood, those that have what? Like-minded, all right? Not joking, because this ain't a joke, man. This is deadly serious, okay? This damn devil is getting ready to roll in, all right? We heard the latest that allegedly that Trump and Iran have come to a 2-week ceasefire. See? You got to understand what times we in, man. Okay? Something major is getting ready to take place, okay? They didn't say that they was going to completely cease fire. They just said for 2 weeks. You already know they cleaning house somewhere down the line. They preparing for something to come, man. All right? So, hey, if you want to play like that, go right ahead, okay? But, hey, we going to blow the horn in Zion and let you know when some, when some strange behavior is taking place, especially on high holy days, all right? So let's go ahead and close out with the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5 and verse 8. It reads, be sober, be vigilant. Why? Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. See, I just got another precept that came to mind. It said, can two walk together unless they be in agreement, man? What, another precept, what fellowship does unrighteousness have with righteousness? See? So you got to ask yourself, what is these camp leaders, promoting in their groups, in their camps, man? They're not promoting Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. They're promoting themselves, man. What's that? Amos 3. In 3, it says, can two walk together except they be agreed? And the answer is no, man. So why are you inviting non-believers to a sacred holy day like the Passover? Because you're doing it for clicks and views and likes and subscribes. Then it says, let's see if we get that other one. What? 2 Corinthians 6 and 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? See? Them damn YouTubers, man, they not coming here to be converted, all right? They just coming here to get what? What they call in the social media age, content. That's all they coming to get. And they know the Hebrew Israelites are what the world deemed a black Hebrew Israelite is good content for their channel, man. So it's a mutual, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a mutual, like, agreement, okay? The YouTuber got followers, and the so-called black Hebrew Israelites, they want followers, okay? So what happens? It's a mutual agreement. The YouTuber with the high number of followers goes to the group ISUPK and tell them, can we make a skit? And in return, ISUPK says yes. Okay, because why? They both deem to get something in return. They both deem to get what? Publicity. Okay. So it says, Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? See? So take this thing serious, okay? Because it's not a joke, all right? And hey, a lot of these Israelite camp leaders, they leading their congregation astray, all right? Because they having them to think just because we having this extravagant Passover that we're in the spirit, all right? When they couldn't be closer to the spirit, all right? So let's go ahead and close out now with 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. And it reads, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. See? And this is why you got to vet who you allow around your personal space just in general, man. Okay? Don't be quick, to allow what you deem to be a friend close to you in your personal space. You got to prove them. Don't be hasty, okay? So be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour, all right? So with that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.